All right, let's go. Let's do it.
Yeah, as you see, if you're watching already, we are here with the legend, Demetrious Mighty Mouse Johnson, ahead of one on Prime Video 1, which you will be fighting on next Friday.
Yep.
How are you doing? You're in New York. We were just talking a little bit about, liking New York and being here for a short time.
Yeah, I'm doing great. Love being here in New York. When I first got to New York back in my early days of my career, I was like, wow, there's so many people honking. There's so many people walking around. There's construction going on. There's still people walking around, still construction, still people, doing their thing. But I've come accustomed to, kind of like, hey, this is New York. This is what makes New York unique.
Yeah, and it's your second time in the Barstool office, third time on a Barstool program. Demetrious joined us on Mayweather-McGregor Radio Row. That's a little throwback in 2017 with Dave. And Dave, our idiot boss, of course, said, this guy's 125 pounds. I'm sure I could beat him in a fight. And then, he walked up to the table and he was like, all right, never mind. My shoulder. So that was a classic moment. That was also with He Who Will Not Be Named, rhymes with Crapaport.
Oh, yeah, we don't have to talk about him.
We don't talk about that guy anymore.
What's that, before or after Floyd's dad almost...
That was the day of. Floyd's dad swung at me.
And
did he really?
Yeah.
And he didn't. And you didn't flinch.
I didn't flinch. Yeah, I did the kind of Kobe, when you got the.
You're more like, wow, you're so slow. It's like,
yeah. Exactly. It was a good time. That was a fun promotional thing. Were you at that fight, Mayweather-McGregor?
I was not at that fight. I was watching it at a friend's house. Obviously rooting for McGregor because he's one of he's mixed martial artist. So. But it was a great fight. I'm happy he got the opportunity to do that. It changed his life forever. Star power, money. So I'm happy he got the opportunity to do that.
You just jumped into a mixed rules bout as well. Not that was mixed rules, but it was kind of like, MMA versus boxing. How did that actually first come up? Yeah,
so it was against Rodtang, the one flyweight Muay Thai champion, and it just came about. They offered it to me. They're like, hey, would you be interested in doing, mixed rules fight? And I said, yeah, sure. What's up? And it was like, okay, first round's Muay Thai, second round's MMA, the third round's Muay Thai, and the fourth round's MMA. And I was like, okay, let's make it happen. And we went out there and gave it hell, and we came out with the second round submission victory, and very grateful for the opportunity, and it was awesome.
So the rule set that you guys fought under, that was pretty much like the one that was presented to you at the start. It didn't change much.
That's what it was presented with me. I didn't want to, one of my buddies was like, you should have did MMA first. Get him out of there. You're going against Rodtang. He's the greatest of all time in Muay Thai. And I was like, I'm too old. I don't want to sit here go back and forth with my manager and them and it should be MMA and Muay Thai. So I think it made it more interesting. It was my first professional Muay Thai round on that stage. I've done Muay Thai fights before, and this was his first time actually doing mixed martial arts on that big stage. But when I look at it, every single time I fight, it's always been a Muay Thai fight because it's on the feet, right? Mm-hmm. For him, it's always been an MMA fight because he's on the feet. He just doesn't go to the ground.
Yeah.
So I think it was a good opportunity for both of us, and it was a great fight.
Was the training different at all? How your approach different?
No, because we do Muay Thai all the time in our gym. We did focus more on the feet and the sweeps and the knees and the elbows, but there were 3-minute rounds, which is not even a full round of mixed martial arts. So we got in there and, like I said, did our thing.
Did you love that, the 3-minute round thing? Or was it weird because you didn't have much time to work?
Standard-wise, it's fine. MMA, it's not good because, I got him down after a minute and a half into the round. I had a minute and a half to finish him. So
true.
That's where you need more work to work and grapple and sink your chokes in and all that stuff.
Yeah, we do Rough and Rowdy here, which is a tough man competition.
Rough and Rowdy.
And it's 3 1-minute rounds. And I swear, at the end of these fights, you would think it was 25-minute bouts. By the way, everyone was just completely gassed. Sprint. Yeah.
I love that. He says, Rough and Rowdy, 3 1-minute rounds. Let's go.
Honestly, you should check it out. There's some insane fights.
Wow.
Funny fights, ridiculous fights. It's kind of like a variety show.
Guys from West Virginia just coming in after their coal mine shift wearing
wearing
jean shorts.
Wow. I mean, you think it's only 3 minutes, so it's Hey, hon, I'm stopping at the gas station to get a beer. I'll be back. I'll be home soon. And
Literally.
do his 3-minute rounds.
I think you get like $500 if you win. So that's
Really?
like goes a long way for some of these people,
That's
obviously.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's a good time. That's actually on this Friday. If you wanted to get a pay-per-view before next Friday's one on video. Yeah, we
Rough
have an
and
employee
rowdy.
fighting in it this time too.
I love
Shout out
that.
Alex and Doug's.
And
Two
Doug's, we have
employees.
two
Holy
employees,
shit!
yeah.
Yeah.
And it's full, like, gloves or anything?
Yeah,
Or-
yeah.
No headgear.
Boxing gloves.
Check
no
this
headgear.
out. This is a clip right here of
is
Rough and Rowdy. Yeah.
Wow.
Me, Dave, and Big Cat commentate. We got
Is that here?
No, it's in
West Virginia.
Oh, my goodness.
I don't think they would allow it here without headgear.
In the back of the head.
there are rules, but the fighters don't know them.
The West Virginia Commission's lenient, you could say.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming all
You'll
these.
see all body types, literally all body types.
Gotcha. So I would assume that all these gentlemen and females who are fighting are all getting like medically tested.
Yep.
Oh,
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, that's
getting
great. That's
cleared.
great.
It's the West Virginia State Athletic Commission.
Okay, that's perfect.
The
That's
best of
awesome,
the
man.
best, obviously.
That's the only thing you worry about. You worry about when you see these rough and rowdy or street beefs and all that stuff. Is
Yep.
that you having these guys come off the streets competing in a dangerous sport with no medical background check, no MRIs, no EKGs, and that's just a disaster waiting to happen.
Yeah.
Super dangerous. Did you ever get into a street fight? You don't strike me as the kind of guy
When I
who
was in second grade, but it was.
in second grade.
Yeah, he said WWF was fake, and I said no, it wasn't. So.
Robbie loves
Still
that.
I mean,
real
look
to
at my
me,
cup
damn
right
it.
there, WWE cup.
Yeah, so we got in a street fight, and it was. That was.
And then you're like, oh,
Did that inspire
I know what I'm gonna do.
your career? Yeah.
No, it didn't inspire my career. It was just being a kid and.
Who was your favorite WWF wrestler growing up?
Oh man, Shawn McMichael, Triple H, the whole DX Wolfpack era, Dwayne Johnson, those guys.
Oh,
were,
you go with the Dwayne Johnson.
well,
over
the
calling him
Rock, the Rock.
Interesting.
Those are very
Well, it's-
respectful.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's funny because my son, he watches, Mr. Beast or whatever. And you know
Yeah.
how Mr. Beast has so many different like shows or
Yep.
whatever. They're doing one like them wrestling and I was like, this shit is not real. I was like, let me show you the real shit. So I put on The Rock, and it was The Rock and John Cena versus The Miz and
And
another-
R-Truth.
And
Yeah.
R-Truth.
That was right down the block at MSG, actually. A Survivor Series.
Yeah, so he was watching that, and he was so. This was his first time watching wrestling, but Fortnite does a good job of like advertising, like
Yep,
John
course.
Cena and all that stuff. So they're like John Cena, they do all that. So he's literally sitting there just like
How old is he?
he's 7.
Oh my God.
I have a nephew 7. We're getting into wrestling right now. It's the
And,
same
Awesome.
thing.
and he's like this, and like he literally started crying because it's a show, right?
Yeah,
They go back and forth.
yeah.
He goes, I hate this. Like you got to finish it, man. Finish it, watch it. And sure enough, The Rock came back and beat all of them, and he was happy about it. So.
He's hooked now.
Yeah, he's-
now
he's-
in.
yeah.
You're going to be buying him all the action figures, taking him to the shows
We haven't
now.
got that far yet. We haven't got that far.
I actually went to WrestleMania a few years ago. Robbie Lawler sitting right behind me.
Really?
Swear to God, Robbie sitting right one after the other. It was crazy.
Wow.
Yeah, him and his son. Big John Cena fans, actually.
I could see that.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Well, Robbie Lawler, he kind of has the same attitude at all times. He's a monotone
Chill.
guy.
Yep.
Yep.
His son, though, he was going nuts for John Cena, obviously. Yeah. It was sick, though.
I love that.
Yeah.
Has adjusting to the rules, not just the Muay Thai and MMA combo, but the rules that are different from UFC to one championship been difficult?
No, not really. The biggest one is just knees to the
Knees,
down
yeah.
opponent, right? So, my first fight against Yuya Wakamatsu, I was kneeing him in the head when he was on the down. When he's down, and the weight cut is pretty much non-existent. You just
Yeah.
got to make sure when you make the weight, you got to make sure you make the weight and also be hydrated.
Gotcha. Do you think that's a better way to do it?
I think I'm not opposed to it anyway. You know what I
Okay.
mean? Because nobody tells somebody you have to cut 125. Nobody
course.
tells you have to cut to one. The guys want to be the bigger guy in the division. So for me, could I make 125 hydrated? Probably. It will be an absolute grind
Yeah.
where I don't want to take on. But at the end of the day, cutting at 135 for me is it's easy.
Okay. Yeah, that's cool. I know it's a big topic because especially when we see someone that has a bad weight cut and then
But
gets it.
they do it to themselves, right?
Yeah,
It's like some people could take drugs and have a good time and love them, and some people could take drugs and they get absolutely destroyed and they're just end up killing themselves, right?
Yep.
So,
Yeah. All right.
it's just like weight cutting, right? People can have a great weight cut, go on a great diet, get the water in, do the right things, jump in the tub, boil themselves, jump in the scale, looking shredded. And you can have those dumbasses who's like, yeah, I'm going to try to cut the weight now and not even worry about it. And it can be for, a bad thing. But, weight cutting is weight cutting. It's in our I don't want to say our society, but it's kind of in our culture back from wrestling.
Fighting, yeah.
100%.
Yeah, so when you think about it, in the UFC, it's been around, since 1983, I think.
93, I think. Right?
1993. And people have been cutting weight the whole entire time. So I think it's just up to the athlete.
Yeah.
100%.
Did you ever have like a particularly bad cut before a fight?
I cut 8.5 pounds before. I don't want to say it was necessarily bad, but it's just, weight didn't come off the way I thought it would. And 8.5 pounds. Made weight, fought and won.
Shit.
So like I said, it's all, if you have the water, when I was cutting 125, I'll drink 2 gallons of water for 2 weeks straight, overload my body. And then the day of weigh-ins, I remember waking up 132. So I had to cut, 7.5, 8 pounds. So
Even though you won, how much did you feel it in the cage as opposed to a better weight cut, we'll call it?
It's kind of hard to say because I always bounce back my weight cuts pretty well.
Do you always eat the same thing? Or no?
Always the same thing. The biggest thing that we try to do is try to be dehydrated the least amount of time. So we'll be as big as possible, and then we want to have that window of us being dehydrated and lethargic very short. So a lot of people, they'll diet down to 125. So for me, I'll walk around like 132, and then get it all off me at the very end and then put it back on me. Because you only have to be 125 for 1 second.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Eat for 1 second. You jump a scale, 125, yeah! You're big, right? Same thing when I make 135. It's not like you have to be there when you're fighting. So it's like you just want to be there just for that second and get big again.
Yeah, our guy Patty the Batty, I don't know how he's doing it.
Hey, Patty the Batty, yeah. I think he said he's at 200 pounds.
He's at 200, yeah.
So that's the thing. It's like
pretty quick.
And that's the thing too. Like when he gets to that size at 200 pounds, his body's working at that. His bone structure, everything. And he's a 200-pound man, and he drops down to 155.
Yeah.
155. So he cuts all that weight, and then he's shredded, and he's looking good. So typically out of camp, he's a 200-pound man. So he's throwing around that sheer mass, right? And I'm sure when he gets in the cage, he's probably 150, 170, 175, and then he adds on that extra weight.
Of course, you see the strength in like his judo throws and his grappling in the clinch and stuff. Yeah.
But he is shredded when he gets in there, though.
Oh my God, yeah.
It's
He always
impressive.
gets. He looks like a different person.
He
in
puts
camp
that coat
and out
on.
of
He
camp.
puts on that weight coat.
With him, I always try to defend him. I think he has the fat face, so I always feel like he
goes
looks
right
like
to
it
his
goes right
face,
to his
yeah.
face, so it always looks much bigger than he actually is.
Yeah, and that's just his choice. Like he said, he'd rather be fat and happy than shredded and pissed. So
He said when he starts fighting ranked fighters, then he'll stay in shape between fights.
exactly, because he knows what it takes to keep that high level, and going back and forth just wouldn't be. Obviously it's not good for his body. Right?
Yeah,
like, it's like the blood sugar and all that stuff. I'm not a doctor, but or a nutritionist, but I can tell you, him blowing up like that back and forth is not the healthiest thing to do in your life.
Do you watch a lot of MMA? Are you watching on a Saturday? Are you watching the UFC? Are you watching
I watch
Bellator on a Friday?
I watched the last one. I watched Dominic Cruz. I'm a fan of his, and Chito Vera. I watched.
It was a great fight.
I didn't watch Roy McDonald's fight, but I saw the highlights. And then if Akio Horiguchi fights, I'll try to catch that too.
Yep.
So if I'm a fan of the athlete, I'll probably watch it. But as far as hey buddy, hey honey, the fights are on, let's watch it. And I'm past that point.
Who are some of your favorites to watch, even over just your career, guys that you've admired or just appreciated their style or anything? like that?
Yeah. Luke Rockhold's one of them. Dominic, Uriah Faber, Peter Yan, Sean O'Malley, Tan Lee, Angela Lee. I enjoy her.
O'Malley getting a shout out.
I like Sean
that.
O'Malley. Yeah, I like Sean O'Malley's style. I have so many. Charles Oliveira. I like a lot of athletes. Right?
Do you pay attention more to your weight class across MMA?
I pay attention more to 135 now.
Okay,
Instead of 125. I still keep track of, Brennan, Kaya France, those guys, but, or Pantoja, but I see myself at 135 now.
Okay.
That's crazy. The king of the flyweights, feels like you're abandoning that division.
I just don't, I'm just so.
Makes sense.
I'm
but
just so accustomed to making, if I jump in a scale, I'll be 135. I'm fighting guys who weigh 135.
Yeah.
Right? Like, granted, even though we were considered flyweights, I'm not weighing 125 pounds, so I wouldn't consider me fighting, and I don't want to make that weight anymore. So
Fact.
that's
Yeah,
just
why
my
would you?
opinion. Yeah. Fuck no, I'm not doing that.
What did you think of like the Demetrious,
Moreno?
No,
Moreno
versus Figueiredo. Yes.
Yeah.
I thought it was good. I think the second fight, Moreno came out and took that from him.
Yeah.
Moreno came
Yeah.
out, took him, was moving good on his feet, and hit him with a jab and choked him out. I think the third fight, I think the hardest thing is that Brandon Moreno doesn't have the power that Figueiredo does, right?
Yeah.
Figueiredo has those that bombs, and he was sitting with it. It was a great back and forth fight, and now they're about to do a fourth, so we'll see what happens. You know, it's just gonna come down to who's gonna be able to go out there and execute. You know,
Did you get to watch the Aljamain Jan fight?
I did. You know, that fight was so interesting because I like Aljamain Sterling, I like Peter Yan, and I feel like Peter Yan's the more dangerous athlete because, you know, obviously Aljamain Sterling has, you know, the grappling aspect of it, but man, like I feel like if Peter Yan just would defend that takedown, it'll be a totally different fight. But yeah, that was a good fight. They're both great athletes.
Let me ask you, as someone who I was a champion for a long time, do you like how they did the Moreno Kai France like interim belt? Would that have bothered you if that was you? If you were in Figueiredo's shoes?
Yeah, but Figueiredo wasn't healthy enough. That's why he
Fair.
wasn't fighting, right? And I think he wanted more money. So if you're not going to fight and you want more money, you're holding up, you're stalling for contract issues, keep it running. For me, I was, come on, let's go. Like,
Yes, Andrew, that never was a thing with you. I was just curious how you would feel in that situation.
Oh yeah, I can be a little perturbed.
Because I'm sure you're like, that's my belt. Like, you're the guy, you know what I mean?
Yeah, but nowadays it's not about, it's different. Back when I was fighting, it was like, just felt different, you know? Now it's like, I remember when they gave Sino Sagani,
Shogun.
interim belt, and Francis Ngannou was like, I just fought, like,
like 3 months ago.
3 months ago, what the fuck, right?
Yeah.
So, but they want to keep it rolling, right? They want to keep the ball going. So, you know, it is what it is.
Do you feel like your, like, call it conflicts with Dana White were over-exaggerated looking back by the media?
I think so. I don't think me and Dana actually had a big beef or problem. Like, here's the thing. Like, I think just because you don't see eye to eye with somebody doesn't mean it's beef. You can have disagreements, right? Me and my wife, we have disagreements all the time. Probably like not all the time, but we do here and there. Doesn't mean I dislike her or don't love her anymore. So I think it's okay to see eye to eye, not see eye to eye with your boss or your teammates or even your coach.
Yeah, I feel like around the time of like the trade and maybe like the year leading up to it, there was a lot of stories in the media about like, oh my God, he's selling the division. Demetrious is pissed. This, that, the next thing.
Yeah, I think, like I said, once again, there was a disagreement, right? Like he wanted to sell the division. He didn't think it was selling. I thought the division was amazing, and I was on a good long stretch of dominance and you say greatness, and I think you're right. You just got to find the right angle to advertise or get this division to where it needs to be. So you have a champion who's going out there, put on exciting fights, getting finishes. That's the whole goal of mixed martial arts, is to finish people. And they just couldn't find a way to get the American audience to love it and adore it.
Is there like a sense of pride now when you see people tweet about, oh my God, the flyweight division's on fire? Like,
yeah, I'm happy to see that, right? I'm happy to see that, but it's coming at a cost of two guys going out there beating the shit out of each other.
Yeah, true.
Right? It's not coming at a cost of somebody coming out of displaying brilliance. Yeah. So I kind of look at that. It's like, oh man, that's the greatest fight of all time. It's like, yeah, because they're both beating the fucking shit out of each other. What that shows me is that they're even. They're not one's better than the other person, right? Yeah. To where in my case, I was better than another person. I wasn't getting these little fucking. I wasn't getting in these, these bloody wars. It was like, nah, I'm changing the angle. Like if we're even on the feet, I'm taking you to the wrestling. If we're even in the wrestling, we're taking it into the clinch game. If I can't get you there, then it turns out to be a good fight. Like me and him and Cejudo. We're both evenly matched, but it wasn't like a slugfest. It was, about who was more wittier.
Yeah, it was like a technical fight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You think that rubber match is one you ever want that again, or
What's that?
the rubber match with Cejudo?
If it happens, it happens. I mean, he's back in USADA pool. We train. I mean, I went to his. It's totally weird because I have a different, another found respect for him because we trained together before, and I'm going back to Arizona. I'm gonna train with him again, hopefully in November. So,
wow,
interesting.
For me, it's like now it's like. We fight. It's because
but you have a good relationship with him.
I have a good relationship with him,
Okay,
so
interesting.
Is he as cringe in person? I'm kidding.
He did that to to build his brand, to build himself, to build his brand, build his pay-per-view points, and it worked out for him, man. But awesome guy, nothing but respect, man. Like when I was older, I was like, I see a little bromance going on here, brother.
How does it feel to be one of, I think, Joe Rogan's favorite fighters of all time?
It's great. Joe Rogan's very respected. He knows his stuff, and he's also a former martial artist. So I have nothing but respect for Joe Rogan and love his content that he puts out there. Always interview different people, learn stuff from him all the time on his podcast. So nothing but love for Joe.
Yeah, he always shows the love on.
Well, it would just be randomly. Your name gets brought up. It's probably been brought up there with like almost any UFC fighter or MMA fighter. In like if you added it up somehow, maybe there's somebody out there that's done it. But.
Hey.
Sean O'Malley recently said that before a fight, 3 weeks before, he stopped smoking weed. He's like, all right, I'm going to stop this for now. Before a fight, do you stop playing video games or no?
No. I play up to the morning of, even the night after I play after. So it's just something I do. It's something that I kind of, relaxes me, decompresses, gets me out of reality, and I forget, like, pretty much reality.
What's the game right now that you're playing?
Second Frontier.
Second Frontier?
Cycle Frontier.
Cycle Frontier. I haven't heard of this
It's a new game that just came out. Actually, it came out probably like 2-3 months ago. They're about to do their first wipe. So the best way to describe it, it's like Escape from Tarkov, but we call it Startov. So you're on a planet and there's monsters, and you drop down, and it's called Planet Fortuna. You're in a space station, and you go around, you buy your stuff, you buy your medium gun, your AR, your pistol, or whatever you want. You have a backpack, you only carry so much weight, and then you drop down to Fortuna, and you go around, you loot, you do missions for 3 different factions, and then when it's time to extract, there's 2 points on your map. It's always random. Well, yeah, it's always gonna be different. You send me drop in, and you call it evac ship. When you call the evac ship goes beep, it's on the way. And the evac ship comes, and everybody in the map can see where you're coming. They can either go there and try to kill you, or you can just evac. So it's pretty dope. Like, that's the thing. It doesn't get a lot of love, but there's a lot of cheaters on there. I haven't run into a lot of cheaters because that's a higher MMR, but I absolutely love the game.
The last time you were here, we were playing PUBG in the Game Time studio.
Yeah.
You still playing PUBG or no?
Don't play PUBG as much anymore, just because I didn't like the fact that you can't choose a map you want to go to. And their best map to this day
it's all random?
Is all random, yeah. The best map is Erangel, which is the very, very first map. So when they took that ability away,
is that the one we were playing on, like the desert-looking map?
No, that's Myanmar. That map's pretty dope too.
It's pretty fun.
I think of the Hacienda, the Hacienda Parachon. I like dropping that bitch right there. Yeah, so those 2 maps were my favorite one. But when they took away, they did another one called Bike Eating and so a couple other ones, made it a little bit smaller. I wasn't a fan of it, so I kind of stepped away from the game.
When you're done fighting, and however many years that's going to be,
right,
do you see yourself more in
years.
like the video game world or in the fighting world? Because I feel like you're so passionate about video games that I don't even know.
I think I'm probably more passionate about video games than I am mixed martial arts, just because you can have a better connection with a person with video games than you can mixed martial arts, because you guys don't fight, so our connection can only go so far.
True.
But we can all game and have a good time and laugh and love so many different titles that our connection can go so much more further. Does that make sense?
Assumption that
100%.
we don't fight there. I mean, come on.
You guys don't.
Couple scraps in the schoolyard.
Yeah, right?
Second grade.
You guys are like, I have a plane ticket to Rough and Rowdy, don't you?
Rough and Rowdy.
Yeah.
So I can see myself in the gaming space, but in what form, I have no idea.
Like commentary over esports, is that something that
That's
you
a little
wanted
harder
to do?
because it's a little bit different, right? I've seen the esports. I've done some commentating at One Century for it was Street Fighter 5, but we'll see. I love gaming. I love I love to create a game, more of an 8-bit side scroller style.
Ooh.
8-bit, 16-bit. I'm a huge fan of that. But
I just got one of those games, the new Ninja Turtles game.
Did you? Oh, Shredder's Revenge.
It's sick.
I played that. It's a good
really
game.
fun. Yeah,
it's very fun. You know, I think it's 6 players you can play with.
Yeah.
6. Yeah. So it's good. I mean, I love gaming, and gaming will always be part of my life till the day I die. And you know, like I said, now I'm working on a new program, Zekin Studios, where I started my own podcast. We did episode 2. It's called Nerds of Leisure, where we sit there, we talk about gaming, comic books. We just did a review on Prey. I don't know if you guys saw the movie.
Loved
Prey.
it.
Absolutely amazing. So working on that, trying to find a different angle where I can communicate with the fans on something I'm also passionate about, and also using that program to be able to bring them in to give me their picks or what their thoughts on whatever we're discussing.
That's awesome. And you said 3 more years until you're done fighting. Do you
think
have
so.
Do you have things you want to do before that time, or are you kind of just like, I'll see what happens in the
Let's
next
just see what
3 years?
happens. I told myself I wanted to stop fighting when I was 35, right? And now I'm 36, and I still feel healthy, strong. So I give myself 3 more years, and we'll see what happens in in my story, my arc, as you can say, and go from there.
Kind of
You
like
don't
a
really
video.
have like goals.
No, yeah, goals. Obviously be world champion, but once I'm done fighting in mixed martial arts, doesn't mean I'm gonna stop training. I'm gonna.
Yeah.
I want to compete in my in the gi. I want to compete at IBJJF. So that's another goal of mine, and just stay healthy and have fun.
What do you say to people that think that jiu-jitsu shouldn't be done in a gi?
I think it's great.
Okay.
It should be both. You can do both
Yeah.
because it's 2 different games, right? The gi is a tool, right, and it slows the game down. The reason why I like training the gi because it takes away my athletic ability. To keep because my game is movement and speed. When I put the gi on, it takes it away, and
So it makes you work more on the technical side.
it makes me work more on the technical side, and it makes me figure out how to break people's grips and how to pass
Okay.
a certain way. So it's different. And then I like no gi too because no gi is like different. It's like what you see in mixed martial arts. And then there's combat jiu-jitsu where you slap people and all that stuff. So I like all of it.
Oh, that's cool.
Combat jiu-jitsu always makes me laugh. When
Yeah,
you
it's
start
like
smacking
smacking
people in the
them.
face.
Well, it's perfect because in a gi, if I go like this, if I'm in a no gi and I go like this, you can't do anything, but you start slapping the shit out of me. It's like, So it's a little more realistic.
Yeah, one of our guys just Chef Donnie.
Donnie,
he just
yeah,
did a
he
jiu-jitsu
won too,
tournament and won.
Oh, really?
He won the
He
first
won his match.
his match.
His
Yeah,
first
but I
ever
think
match, though.
it's
Yeah.
his first ever. Yeah.
Yeah, that's good for him,
Yeah,
though.
yeah. Shout out Donnie.
Chef Donnie.
I saw it, and the clips look pretty good. I saw he had looked like he did like a butterfly sweep over the guy, almost like the McGregor Diaz one.
Yeah, he went took top control, flipped on him a little bit. It was good.
Yeah, Renzo Gracie's right down the street here. I think it's on 28th.
Henzo, you
Yeah.
gotta say
Henzo.
Henzo, yeah.
I apologize.
Disrespect you if you say Renzo.
Yeah, no,
That's all
no.
good. There's an R there. It's America. We have an R.
I was like, all right, Russell in the chat. Who hit you the hardest in your career?
I'll say John Dotson and Rate. Those two
yeah.
probably be the hardest.
Whatever happened to John? Isn't he in one?
John
He's
Dotson, I
in,
think he's
I
about
think he
to-
might be doing ex-MMA now.
Ex-MMA, that's
I
what
watched,
he's in.
He headlined a fight recently over there.
He's ex-MMA, you're right.
Yeah, I think he lost that one, right?
He did.
I think so, yeah.
He lost that one, but now he's about to do bare knuckle fighting.
Oh, that's
Oh,
right,
is he?
yes.
Yep.
yes.
I think he's doing bare knuckle
What do
fighting.
you
a bunch
think
of guys
about
are
that?
doing that.
Huh?
What do you think about bare knuckle?
I think it's. I mean, I wouldn't do it. You break your fucking hand.
Yeah.
But you've seen a lot of guys coming from ex-mixed martial artists. One, I heard they're paying very well, so that's always a plus.
We always say, where do they get the money from? I speculate that maybe P. Diddy owns them secretly.
Who knows? You never know. I like that idea though. He owns it.
He invests in so much,
Conspiracy
you know?
Right.
Yeah.
But it's good for an athlete to try to make money in a different, do something totally different. So
Yeah, Mike Perry against
Mike Perry.
And
MVP.
Yeah.
That's a massive fight.
It's crazy that they're
huge
fighting.
fight.
Huge fight.
Yeah.
I'm very excited for it. Is
I
that?
think Jimmy Rivera's doing it now, too, I know.
Oh, yeah?
Ben Rothwell is as well. I believe he's fighting
Yes.
Big Ben.
somewhat soon.
That
Right.
evil laugh. What a legendary
Ben
laugh.
Rothwell.
Paige
MMA.
Van Zandt's doing it too.
Yep,
so
for
she's
sure.
got
Yeah,
that coming up as
yeah.
well. So, I mean, at the end of the day, it's about making money and be able to relax and retire. If you want to compete and fight in bare knuckle fighting, hey, go ahead, do it, man. I mean, more power to you. But for me, I can only imagine like just the brain trauma you get and just
Yeah.
your
And the
hands.
lacerations, too.
And the lacerations,
You
yeah.
see some of these guys' faces. Remember
I saw-
when Jason Knight and Artem fought? Like, their faces
Oh,
were
yeah.
fucked
Oh, yeah,
after
yeah,
that.
yeah.
Yeah, it was. Yeah. Really bad.
Yeah.
One last question about 135. I don't know if you saw that Marab, how do you say his last name?
I know
Devolishi?
you're right.
Yeah, Marab
Devashvili?
Yeah.
said
Devashvili?
that he may drop down to 125 because he doesn't want to fight against Aljamain
Yeah.
for the title. Was that ever something that came up in your career where there was a training partner or something?
No.
What do you think about that, though?
That's great. It's up to the athlete's decision, you know? I mean,
of course.
I'm sure. I mean, I know Aljamain talked about going up to 145.
Yeah, he even said that. Yeah.
And letting Merab have his opportunity to be champion. Like him make a 125
would be tough.
Holy shit, that'd be hard.
I don't know how he would make it.
Big dude.
He's so big.
Yeah, big dude. But yeah, I mean, if the athletes want to fight each other, that's fine too. Or just hey, I think Merab's a little bit younger.
He is, yeah.
So let Aljamain have his thing, and he can always be, the Goro or Minotauro or Kataro, in Mortal Kombat, be the guy before you fight, the champion, and go that route. So I think either way, whatever he decides to do, I mean, he'll be successful at it.
Yeah.
I feel like Aljo should be able to stay. If he's still the champ, Merab should have to move away.
Yeah, because it's not that division's stacked.
Yeah,
right?
It really is.
Yeah.
It's stacked, so any one of those guys can take out Aljo, right?
Yeah.
And they'll give Merab an opportunity to do it. And who's to say? I mean, shit, look at TJ and Cody Garbrandt. Those two fought each other. The gym broke up. Who knows what the timeline. But I think Merab and Aljo are like this. I think they have like a brotherhood, a true brotherhood going on.
It's part of that Matt Serra Long Island Italian, part of the family.
They're a fan of the family.
Do that, okay?
Hey.
Aljo, you don't.
He's walking over here.
Exactly. I think you'll see those guys together all the time.
The car crash at 135 right now is crazy. I mean there's so many. And then all those reemerge. Yeah.
Basically like a Grand Prix without doing one.
Yeah.
They just matched up like the entire top 10 pretty much.
100%.
Yep. Totally agree. Which is great. It's an exciting time to be a lightweight athlete.
And obviously a very exciting time to be an MMA fan because there's so many ways to watch, so many companies to watch. One's on Prime Video now.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep. My fight's August 26th. 161. It's always a tongue twister. It's like one now. You can say 161 where it was like one championship into the Matrix 2. We're doing the actual thing now. It's 161. Mariah versus Johnson 2. Amazon Prime. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, absolutely. We are too. Anything else before?
Yeah, I want to ask you just we were talking before. Obviously, Rogan loves you, and I think overall pretty unanimously, people would consider you almost like kind of like the Mount Rushmore pound for pound. Who would yours be? Like your Mount Rushmore of MMA?
Man, so mine's subjective, right?
Of course.
And
you're
and I have my opinion. I like to see people do it all, right? So John Jones would be up there.
Yep.
Gegard Mousasi, I'll put him up there when he's on, he's fucking on. Like,
We interviewed Johnny Eblin, who beat him recently in Bellator.
Yeah.
But I mean, Gegard was up there for a very long
time.
Yeah,
Like, if you look at his time when he was like in Pride or Dream, like dude, his jab was quick, great ground game, very good. Man, I would have, I could put, and this is the thing, like I could put Habib, I could put DC up there, I could put, I could put so many athletes up there, right? Because I like to see, the all-round game. That's what I like. I like a well-rounded game where they can fight everywhere, not just in one area. So, but if I had to do, it would be John Jones. He's always been my favorite.
We really are seeing MMA turn into that where it's more well-rounded. Before it was very specific skills, but even, I mean, if you look at Habib, for me personally, his striking by the time he retired was very, very good.
It got good, and
Usman's striking has gone from kind of his weakness to almost one of his strengths now.
One of his strengths, yeah. I would like to see Usman have more rhythm in his stand-up.
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
Where he's more stiff. And then maybe me see more of a clinch game, more of throwing body kicks and kicks, but his knees might not be able to do it. I don't know
his body
if his body's capable of him being as smooth on the feet. So yeah, I mean,
who's the smoothest fighter for you right now?
Smoothest fighter?
Yeah.
Holy shit, man, smoothest.
Have you seen Song Yadong?
Yeah, I seen him. Yeah,
he's smooth. I mean, Izzy, of course, is
he's pretty smooth. Izzy's smooth, but not as smooth as I think he can be. Man,
he does kind of have a stiff stance. Yeah.
He brought him up. Sugar's pretty smooth.
Oh yeah,
Sugar's pretty smooth. Yeah, smooth. Yeah, Sugar. I'll probably say the smoothest is probably Sugar. Because he's
and just throwing the spinning kicks and everything. He's very flowy.
He's very flowy.
Are you guys friends through the video game stuff?
Yeah, we're cool. Yeah, we're
cool.
We're
Seems like you guys have similar interests.
Yeah, similar interests, and like we've hung out before when he was we went to TwitchCon. I think it was TwitchCon with the Fortnite competition together, and we're cool.
You guys could be like a video game tag team. Like
That'd be awesome.
bringing it back to WWE, like that's a tag team that I'd like to see compete. All right.
Oh yeah.
We appreciate you coming. We're gonna finish the show, but we appreciate you coming in, man.
Absolutely, man. Thank you, man. Each time I always see you, I always love that fucking Batman tattoo.
Oh yeah, thank you.
That was just so sick.
Yeah, I appreciate that. That's a Jim Lee special. Hush, you ever see that one?
I've not seen Hush.
Hush is a good one. You should check that out.
I
Would
have
recommend it. Did you see the new Batman movie?
Of course I did.
So Hush, like it's similar.
It's a similar. Gotcha.
It's like we have this secret guy. We don't know who he is. He's covering his face. He knows things about the Wayne family. So
Gotcha.
I would recommend that. That's like one of the best art books of all time.
Wow. All right.
Jim Lee's a legend. All right, ladies and gentlemen, Demetrious Johnson.
Thank you so much, man. Appreciate
Absolutely,
the
man.
time.
Appreciate it.
Like the shoes, by the way.
Oh, thanks, man. Appreciate that. Yeah, each time I'm sitting here, I'm always
Don't
looking.
forget your phone, by the way.
Oh shit! I always keep looking at your tattoo. I'm like, God, that's just fucking sick tattoo.
Appreciate that.
You guys have a good night.
Appreciate you
You
too.
as well.
Absolutely,
yeah.
guys.
Tell Josh we said hey.
See you soon. Best of luck.
Thanks, brother.
All right.